attending the 2021 annual general meeting. First of all, I hope you can all hear me clearly through this. I'll do the right thing and keep it on. If you want to ask a question at all during the session, please stick your hand up and we will get a microphone to you so that we can all hear your question. We're going to record the session as we always do and put it on the web afterwards. I'm going to film it as well, so I just want everybody to be aware of that before we start. Second thing, if there are any motions or there are any resolutions that you want to propose or second, we need your name and your membership number, please. If you're not sure what your membership number is, your name and your postcode will be found in it. Anything else you want to raise, Mark?
No, just apologies for absence.
Yeah, apologies for absence.
I have one, David Rhodes.
Not all of the directors are sat at the top table this year for hopefully obvious reasons. There are one or two directors who have not been able to come to the show. Gareth Jones is very sad that he can't be here, but if he were to leave Guernsey, he'd have to quarantine for 14 days when he returns. Frustratingly, the regulations change on the 1st of July. Right, I'll get into it and I'll try to get through this in the allotted half hour, but don't let that stifle any questions or discussion. You know, the AGM's the AGM, takes as long as it takes. Right, this is the agenda for those who've attended in the past. It's very similar to previous years. So apologies for absence. Profit and loss for the 2 years. That's not just for 2020, that's also for 2019, and that is as laid out in the annual report that you've all got copies of. Then there's the election of directors. There are lots of elections this time because we're carrying over from 2019 those that would have been voted on last year. So that's why there's so many of them. And then the normal, any other business. Right, 2019 and 2020. We did have some achievements during that period, even though the rest of the world was pretty dark around us. We consolidated the members' site. The members' site, remember, was built principally by Richard. I've been doing a certain amount of admin on the site during this year, particularly inviting new members to join as they enroll. We've now got over 3,500 members with accounts on the site. That's a very substantial portion of the membership. It's the platform that's enabled us to offer a digital subscription to overseas members. It's not been the biggest adopted initiative that we've put in place, but we've still got around about 30 people who've taken a digital subscription, and some of the overseas members renewed their existing paper subscription as a digital subscription. So we think it's fulfilling a needed membership feature, and we're going to continue to do it. We published at the beginning of 2020 the 120-page guide to 60mm scale modelling. Gareth put that together, but I think everybody in the team and members outside the management team of the association contributed to that, and it's been critically acclaimed in a number of quarters. So I've enrolled some people this morning, which was a surprise. Didn't expect to be enrolling people today, but I have done, and one of them certainly really wanted to get his hands on that guide because he was taking his first steps in the hobby and felt it would be very useful. I think another significant achievement during the pandemic has been not missing any publication dates and not compromising the quality or the content of what we've put out. So we've stuck with the 56 and 76 page format of bulletin and SMT. We've got them out, I think, to the customary level of quality. Distribution has been slower to overseas destinations than it has been in the UK, and there was some disruption to supply in the UK initially. But by and large, that's worked pretty well. And the other thing is we've grown as a membership organisation during the pandemic. If you cast your mind back to previous years, we've seen some contractions in membership year on year, and for more than 1 year. That's been reversed, and so far we're still enrolling a significant number of members each month. Okay, so moving on to the accounts. I'm not going to walk through all the figures on this slide or the next one, but this is what is in the annual report, covering therefore both 2018, 2019 and 2020. So there's the basic P&L, and here also some further details of the accounts. So if I pick some of the things out, which is what I've done in previous years, there's been a significant reduction in turnover and cost in 2020. The significant reduction really arises because we didn't run the national show. That really affected the P&L. There were some costs that we had incurred that we were able to carry forward until 2021. So until we run the until we run the national show, as an example, we wouldn't pay and put on the balance sheets the prizes that we paid for the grand draw. Also, some traders had paid for their stands in 2020. Most of the traders elected not to ask for a refund and to have that money carried forward to 2021. So that's why turnover and cost look so different in 2020 to what they do in previous years. It's the effect of the national show. Another thing that made a difference to the accounts was the publication of the guide to 16mm scale modelling. That cost us at least £8,000. That was a planned expense. Remember, we've run a surplus for many years, and it's one of the ways that we feed the surplus back to us as members. And it consumed all of the surpluses that we registered in 2018 and in 2019. So planned, but there's another significant change. There was a large reduction in admin expense. As a board, we would normally meet face-to-face half a dozen times a year. We met face-to-face once. In actual fact, we've met as a board more frequently since the pandemic started, and we've been doing it online, usually on a Saturday morning, either starting at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Sometimes we've seen people turn up eating the breakfast, that's fine. It's been more convenient in some respects, and we've had shorter meetings but more frequent meetings. So we don't feel that the effectiveness of managing the association has been compromised. We've just done it a different way. And I dare say, when we are able to meet face-to-face, we'll probably do a little less face-to-face and maybe a little bit more online. So the result has been a small reduction in our surplus, but to be clear, the deficit that we're going to incur from running this show is going to eat significantly into our surplus next year. So we will be registering a significant reduction in the surplus next year. One of the reasons we've always run a surplus is because we've always recognised that the show may not go according to plan. Now, in previous years, we thought it might be a terrorist event. It could be something like the spillage of a hazardous fluid on the entrance to the site, which stopped everybody getting in. It could be all sorts of things. We never thought it would be a pandemic, but it's turned out to be that. So I think that the idea of running a surplus has been proven to be the right one, and we're going to eat into it, and we'll gradually build that surplus back up again in years to come. So those are just some highlights. Has anybody got any questions that they want to ask about the figures they see before them? If not, I'm going to move on to a resolution to adopt them. So I'll give you just a minute or so. I don't see a forest of hands, so we'll go on to the resolutions then. So the first one is that the report of the directors and the annual accounts for the years, for the 2 years ending 31st of December 2020, the balance sheet of that day be accepted. I need a proposer and a second, please.
Agriculture 9611, I propose.
Thank you, Andy. And a seconder, please. Wait for Mike to notice you.
Can you give me a number again, Andy?
9611.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Oh, you've been trumped, Mark. You can second the next one.
Who was that?
That's at the back there.
Diane Sutton,
Diane.
5721.
Diane Sutton. We've only got one Diane Sutton. We'll find you with it.
5721.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, in favour, please. Raise your hands. Are there any against? Right, the resolution is accepted. Thank you very much. The next is the election of directors. You'll see up there, I'm up for re-election and Mike's up for re-election. I think we both owe it to you to say we both intend that this is the last time that we stand as directors. So unless something else happens, we're prepared to serve for another 3 years, but then we will stand aside. So we're really, I think, giving fair notice or fair warnings to say our options. We're going to stand down in 3 years' time, and but nevertheless, we're prepared to serve for another 3 years. So first of all, it's me. So does anybody want to propose that I be re-elected as a director? Keith? That's Keith Bucklich.
So nominate.
And I think Andy was wanting to,
Yes.
you want to step one down. That's the same Andy Belcher as last time.
Yeah.
Okay, in favour, please. Anybody against? Okay, thank you very much. Now my wife, she's had to go out to answer the phone. I think it's about the bus. So Carol is also up for re-election. She hasn't yet made a decision about whether she will stand down concurrently with me. She, despite the difficulties of doing the job she does, I think she quite enjoys it. So please could I have somebody to propose that Carol Regan be re-elected as director? Mike Docker.
3552.
And
Ian Barker,
Ian Barker.
7688.
Thanks very much, Ian. In favour, please? Don't tell her I voted for her. Against?
Didn't you say you were supposed to vote against them?
It wouldn't have made a difference, and it would have caused a lot of trouble. Thank you very much indeed on Carol's behalf. Right, Gareth can't be here for reasons I've outlined earlier, but he's also up for re-election as a director. Could I have a proposal, please? Ooh, what a sell. Well, first of all, on finishes. What's your number, Alan? No idea. We'll find it afterwards.
I'll find it.
Yeah, we've only got one on finishes. A seconder, please. Go on.
Tony Winterson, 4776.
And we've only got one Tony Winterson. In favour? And against? Thank you very much. Gareth will be very pleased. And I hope you'd all agree, he does an absolutely super job.
Here, here.
Right, also for re-election, Colin, our treasurer, sat here to my left. Could I have a proposal, please, that Colin be re-elected? Sir?
Steve Barrett, 7641.
Thank you very much indeed. And a seconder?
John Pitchford, 2468.
Thank you, John. 2467. What a number. Okay, in favour, please. Any against? Thank you very much indeed. Right, Alan Finch now. Could I have a proposal, please, that Alan Finch be re-elected as director? Mike Docker. a seconder, please. And you go. Okay, in favour, please. And are there any against? No. Thank you very much. Right, new then. Rod would like to join the team as a director. He has been marketing and publicity officer for as long as I've been on the board, I think. But we have space on the board. That space was created, sadly, when Brian Dominic died. And so Rod is going to join us in his existing capacity, but as a director instead of as an officer. Okay, could I have a proposal for that? Alan, finish. And Richard Hussett at the back is seconding it.
7258.
7258. Okay, in favour? Any against? There are none against. There are none against. Thank you very much and welcome to the team, Rob. And finally, our articles require that we elect Mike Riley as company chairman.
Secretary.
Company secretary.
I don't want to be chairman, thank you.
Yeah, I nearly got that. Company chairman, company secretary. Okay, the proposal, please. Alan, and a seconder, I think, from Sir, back there.
Alan Simpson, 5799.
Alan Simpson, 5799. In favour? Any against? Right, thank you very much indeed. So, last two things. The award of the land trophy. Well, the person that we're going to award the land trophy to isn't in the hall, and that's Paul Kitcher. He's done a stunning job of laying out the hall for umpteen years and of corralling the relevant number of, or the necessary number of stewards. His stewarding job is going to be handed over to Stuart Timms. At the moment, who is going to lay the hall out in the future is still open, but there's a possible candidate who may pick that up. I don't think Paul will mind saying that he's advancing in years, but he approaches the job with such vigour. He always strikes me when I speak to him on the phone, I always think I'm speaking to a younger person. He's got so much energy. He's got no idea he's going to receive this. I really don't know what his wife Barbara's going to think about something else to clean around the house. It's a pretty large trophy, as you know, so I shall wander out after the AGM, find him, give it to him, and then retire to a safe distance, because it's quite a heavy thing. I'm not really sure how keen he's going to be to take it away with it.
I don't know how he's going to get it home, his car's broken
and then at the
down.
moment his car doesn't fit, so how he's going to get it home, I don't know. But anyway, I would like to ask the meeting to join in a round of applause to Professor Okay, it's your turn. So, anything and everything from the floor, and as I've said, the fact that we've been trying to accelerate the AGM doesn't stop people asking questions, raising points. Right, at the front here now. If you wish,
We've got a mic and a poll.
we've got a mic and a poll coming here, so there you go. Mic
Hi,
coming here.
Mike Docker, 3552. I would just like, on behalf of the stewards certainly, to thank the whole organising team for putting on a show under the most awkward and difficult circumstances, with lots of changes along the route. But I was out on the car park this morning when I came in at about 10 o'clock, just gone. The hall just looked like a normal, if you can understand that, show. It was nicely full, it wasn't over full. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Thank you all so very, very much.
you. Thank you. It's been tough, but we've got it. And there are one or two people who thought we wouldn't be able to pull it off. Well, that sounds like a Spitfire flying overhead.
It does. Sounds like Merlin engine.
Yeah. Any other items from the floor? Oh.
We all want to get back to the show.
Must be keen to get back to the show. I suppose it's because we haven't had one for so long. Okay, then thank you very much for participating and thank you very much for making sure that we were for it. It's very much appreciated.